Hi, it's Lou from Christian Faith and Fiction. Today I want to share with you some Christian fiction books that I found that are releasing in July. So these are books that I've found that are listed as Christian fiction. I haven't read them myself, so I can't tell you what the content is like, whether it is mild or hot in terms of the Christian fiction rating, or whether there might be something in there that I might consider problematic. We're just going to take a look at the descriptions of the book and the book covers if you're watching on YouTube. I put them into their different genres, so let's start with mystery and suspense. Oh, I'm going to need the glasses again. What We Hide by Colleen, Coble and Rick Acker releases on the 2nd of July and is published by Thomas Nelson. Savannah Webster is trying to find her way forward. She and her husband, Hez, have been separated since tragedy tore them apart, and he began numbing his grief and guilt with alcohol. She returned to Tupelo Grove University, which her family helped found over a century ago to teach history. When Hez turns up in her classroom asking for a second chance, she rejects the idea immediately, but 24 hours later she's under suspicion for murder, and since Hez is the best attorney she knows, she reluctantly asks him for help. They suspect the murder is tied to someone selling off the university's pre-Columbian artifacts, but the secrets go much deeper than they realise. The only hope they've got is each other, and they're going to have to put their past behind them if they're going to stay alive long enough to uncover all that's hidden. Cold Vengeance by Nancy Mehl releases on the 16th of July and is published by Bethany House. This is Ryland and Sinclair Book 3. When a renowned crime podcaster vanishes without a trace, former FBI behavioural analysts turned private investigators River Ryland and Tony Sinclair are called upon to track her down. As they wade through the evidence she's left behind, they unearth a startling connection. She may have discovered the existence of an unknown serial killer, and he will stop at nothing to carry out a deadly plan. As the pair delves deeper, they soon find themselves the target of a relentless enemy, determined to silence them. With their lives and hearts on the line, can they confront the evil that threatens them before it consumes them both? Deadly Ranch Hideout by Jenna Knight releases on the 23rd of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. Some secrets aren't just forgotten, they're lethal. To expose her imprisoned father's mob associates, Monica Larson races to find the evidence he's hidden, until a car accident leaves her without her memories. Now she must locate the information with the help of Officer Chris Volker. Determined to keep her safe from relentless attacks, Chris takes Monica to his family's Montana ranch. But someone is dead set on keeping their secrets buried, and they won't stop till Monica and Chris are 6 feet under. Showdown in the Rockies by Kathleen Taylor releases on the 23rd of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. A secret cartel operation in the wilderness, a perilous winter pursuit. When their helicopter is shot out of the sky after they discover a drug operation, Detective Flynn Denning, along with her nephew and ex-boyfriend Derek King, is stranded in the unforgiving Colorado mountains. They'll need to rely on Derek's military skills to survive the treacherous conditions and the assailants on their trail, but with the cartel dead set on eliminating any witnesses to their operation, this mission might be their last. Guarding His Secret Son by Laura Scott releases on the 23rd of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. A baby is in danger and protecting him might be deadly. After discovering that he has a son and that the baby's mother was murdered, Chief Deputy Garrett Nichols takes infant Micah and his midwife Liz Templeton on the run. He vows to protect them as they race to uncover why the baby is a target. But danger lurks around every corner and time is running out. Can they crack down the truth before the killer silences them forever? Hunted by a Killer by Laurie Winter releases on the 23rd of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. Is she the pursuer or the pursued? When a body was found at the edge of the bayou, police detective Charlotte Reed knew the serial killer who murdered her sister was back, and if she didn't stop him, he'd kill again. FBI Special Agent Austin Walsh insisted Charlotte couldn't do it on her own, but then the murderer gave Charlotte a deadly challenge: catch him or she'd be his next victim. And Ambush in the Mountains by Mary Alford releases on the 23rd of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. Innocent lives at stake. Can a former soldier and canine save them? Helping a pregnant woman he comes across in the mountain storm puts Axel Sterling right into the path of ruthless human traffickers. Now it's up to the ex-soldier and his dog to keep Summer and her unborn baby safe from the abductors she's finally escaped. But between the icy wilderness and the armed gunmen following them at every turn, one wrong move could cost Axel and Summer their lives. In historical fiction, Until Our Time Comes by Nicole M. Miller releases on the 2nd of July and is published by Revell. American horse trainer Adia Kensington is living her dream of working at the famous Janał Podlaski stables in Poland, where they breed the best Arabian horses in the world. But her plans to bring the priceless stallion Luba to the US are derailed when the German army storms into her adopted country in 1939. Little does she know this is just the beginning of 6 long years of occupation that will threaten her beloved horses at every turn. Major Brett Conway is at Janał Podlaski under the guise of a news reporter, but his true mission is intelligence gathering for the British. That and keeping Adia safe, which is harder and harder to do as she insists they must evacuate 250 horses to save them from being stolen, sold, or eaten by the invading forces. What follows will test their physical, mental, and emotional strength as well as their faith in God, humankind, and each other. A Choice Considered by Tracie Peterson releases on the 2nd of July and is published by Bethany House. Melody Doyle has spent years following her father across the country as the Transcontinental Railroad is built. When she announces her desire to settle down in Cheyenne, her father presents her with an unconventional prospect. He will allow her to stay if she finds a husband before his departure. As word spreads and the men in town vie for her hand, she wonders if she could ever be happy with a husband chosen in such a way. Charles Decker, the heir to a banking dynasty, has been sent west to manage the bank started by his brother. His heart yearns for a simple life of teaching, but banking is the family business, and Charlie feels obligated to fall in line. When his friendship with Melody blossoms, he's drawn to this remarkable woman who defies conventions. Will he be able to come to terms with his growing feelings for her and confront the true desires of his own heart before it's too late? Into the Starlight by Amanda Cabot releases on the 16th of July and is published by Revell. After more than a year in Europe, Joanna Vaughan returns to Sweetwater Crossing, her dreams of becoming a concert pianist shattered. As if that weren't enough, her husband, whom she married after a whirlwind courtship, has died. The only thing sustaining her on the journey back to Texas was the thought of her childhood home. But to Joanna's dismay, she's changed so much that the place she once loved no longer feels like home. After his fiancée married his partner and both blamed him for a patient's death, Dr. Burke Finley believes it's time for a change. A quick trip with his almost aunt Della Samuels to Sweetwater Crossing turns into an extended stay to discover what happened to his uncle and her would-be husband. But the beautiful and musical Joanna makes it more than bearable. As the two join forces to help Della, there is no denying the attraction felt on both sides, but ghosts from the past are coming to call and threatening to destroy any chance at happily ever after. Meeting Her Match by Jen Turano releases on the 16th of July and is published by Bethany House. Miss Camilla Pierpont, a renowned matchmaker and influential member of the New York 400, has vowed never to marry after suffering a devastating heartbreak during her debut years ago. However, when she is nearly abducted along the Hudson River, she finds herself rescued by an annoyingly outspoken, albeit fascinating, gentleman who challenges her in a manner she wasn't expecting. After learning that Camilla Pierpont has enjoyed success with taking wayward young ladies in hand, Mr. Owen Chesterfield travels to the Hudson River Valley, determined to convince Camilla to sponsor his sister, who is in desperate need of social rehabilitation. Knowing her life is in danger, Camilla agrees to Owen's proposition and travels with him to West Virginia, finding herself charmed by the less than formal attitude of his small hometown, as well as by Owen himself. But danger waits in the shadows, disrupting what she knows would be the most spectacular match she's ever made, her own. In contemporary romance, The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh releases on the 2nd of July and is published by Thomas Nelson. A near-death experience catapults workaholic junior editor Kelsey Worthington into changing her life, one yes at a time. Kelsey Worthington always dreamed of being a writer, but she settled into a routine of helping other people tell their stories in her job as a junior editor. She doesn't go outside of her comfort zone. Her relationships are safe, her job is secure, her existence is stable, and she's great with that. And then the accident. While she's in the hospital overnight, she meets an older woman named Georgina Tate, a glass-ceiling-shattering, wildly successful businesswoman. Georgina sacrificed everything to become the woman she is today, but now with a pair of failing kidneys and only a handful of months left to live, Georgina is forced to come face to face with her regrets. Kelsey is forced to reckon with her own list of things I'll do someday, and she starts to ask a simple but life-changing, what if I said yes to all the things I normally say no to? And the yes plan is born. It takes some convincing, but Georgina finally agrees to go along with Kelsey on her Summer of Yes adventures. The two of them set off to see what might be out there waiting for them if they simply open themselves up to it. Together they say yes to whatever comes their way, a whole day being tourists in their own New York City, dinner with strangers, a convertible that is far from practical but so much fun. But when Kelsey springs a surprise visit to Georgina's son Hayden and Georgina's ex-husband, who is not much of an ex, the older woman is less than thrilled. But this is where the true journey begins. Two stories of love, forgiveness, regret, romance, and finding a way to live a fearless life intertwine as these two women make an indelible impression on each other, and it all starts with a simple yes. Meet Me at the Starlight by Rachel Hauck releases on the 2nd of July and is published by Bethany House. 80s supermodel Harlow Hayes seeks solace in a quaint Florida beach town to hide and heal from a heartbreak that shattered her entire world. To her surprise, she encounters Matt Knight, a Hollywood A-lister with a bad boy reputation, who has returned to his hometown to help his plucky grandmother, Tuesday, save her century-old skating rink, the Starlight. The Starlight holds a special place in the hearts of the community, once acting as a refuge for Depression-era families and bringing the town together with gatherings and celebrations. Tuesday's determination and resilience even protected her beloved rink from her husband's shady business dealings. Yet when the Starlight is threatened with demolition, Tuesday may not be able to stop it. As Matt and Harlow plot with Tuesday to save the Starlight, they find themselves on a journey of surprises, self-discovery, and the kind of healing that leads to love. Her Alaskan Family by Heidi McCahan, releases on the 23rd of July and is published by Love Inspired. One lost little girl could be the key to a permanent family. Recently fired, Savannah Morgan dreads attending her 10-year high school reunion as a failure. But for Levi Carter, Savannah's return home might solve all his troubles. The newly single dad needs reliable childcare for his temporary foster daughter, and a fake girlfriend at the reunion to deflect any pitying glances after his recent breakup. But as the line between real and pretend begins to blur, will a secret Savannah is keeping ruin their chance at a permanent commitment? Their Unlikely Protector by Meghann Whistler releases on the 23rd of July and is published by Love Inspired. To give two little boys a home, she must take a chance on forgiveness. The last person Valerie Williams expects to rescue her and her toddler twin brothers from a fiery blaze is Brett Richardson, her high school nemesis. But with her house burned down, Valerie is forced to stay at the same inn as Brett and work with him on the town festival. Now Brett has a chance to make things right, but can Valerie let go of the past to make way for a future together? And finally, in fantasy and sci-fi, The Nightmare Virus by Nadine Brandes releases on the 16th of July and is published by Enclave Escape. Some viruses go after the body, but the nightmare virus goes after the mind. When dream technology goes wrong, a virus spreads across the globe, trapping people in a universal dreamscape. They call it the nightmare virus. Kane Cross is determined to find a cure if he can decipher his brother's chicken scratch formula notes, but when he gets infected he has only 22 days until he's trapped in the mental prison forever. Now every time he falls asleep he must fight in a nightmare arena until he earns his freedom to live in the new world that exists only in the mind. Then he finds a way to manipulate the nightmare to change it by mere thought. Forced to navigate a world of night beasts, mistblades and half-truths, Kane turns his focus to survival. When the Emperor offers him a life pod and access to a cure in exchange for a dangerous favour, Kane thinks he's found a way out, but Kane's new power threatens to take him on paths that jeopardise his very soul. Will he continue searching for a cure, or will he swear allegiance to the nightmare? And the bigger question might be, will he even have a choice? So there's not so many books coming out in the summer months usually. These are the ones that I could find. If you know of any more, or if you are an author or an independent author and you have a book coming out in July that is Christian fiction, please leave the name, the title and the author down below in the comments so that everyone else can see and look them up for themselves. Okay, I hope that you are having a fantastic reading week, and until next time, I pray God bless you and your family.